Welcome back to the Famous 4 channel. Now, the last two videos we've done on unique Land Rovers have proved to be quite popular, so we've once again read all of the comments, done some research, and in today's video we're going to show you 6 more rare and unique Land Rovers. First up on today's list we have the steam-powered Land Rover. That's right, not petrol, not diesel, not even electricity, but run by steam. 67-year-old engineer Frank Rothwell was looking for a project to keep him out of the pub. He said, "We all need a hobby, and I like doing things that are difficult." So he removed the 2.25-litre petrol engine out of a Series 2A, and he fitted with an even slower, even noisier powertrain. The Land Rover, called Mildred due to the amount of mildew that covered it when it was rescued, uses a coal-fired boiler to heat up water and turn it into steam, just like your regular steam train. It gets through coal at a rate of around 45 kilograms an hour. The project took him around 400 hours, split equally between building the engine and converting the Land Rover, and it apparently cost him £24,000. Now, this Land Rover is not going to be breaking any speed records, as it can only do between 12 to 15 miles an hour. However, that's apparently fast enough for Frank. Next up, we have a vehicle that we have already mentioned on this channel, the 2139 City Cab from the futuristic film Judge Dredd. New York is now known as Mega City 1, and if you want to get around, you can hail one of these Land Rover City Cabs, which are based on the 101 forward control Land Rovers. 32 vehicles were sourced for this film, however only a few of these were actually road legal. Some of the others didn't even have doors or interiors. After the film was finished, most of the vehicles were converted back to 101 forward controls. However, some of the road legal ones remained. One is at JLR, one is at the British Motor Museum, and there is also one parked outside of a house in the Lady Barn area of Manchester, which you can see on Google Maps. Now, the vehicles didn't have any futuristic tech under the bonnet. It was just the standard 3.5-litre Rover V8, meaning in the film, the engine had actually been in production for 179 years. The next vehicle on the list is truly one of a kind. In 2016, alongside the London Fashion Week, renowned designer Sir Paul Smith collaborated with Land Rover to create a completely unique Defender as part of their year-long celebration towards the Defender's retirement. Sir Smith had always been a massive fan of the Defender, and even owns one that he keeps at his home in Italy. His one-of-a-kind vehicle features 27 different colours, but that's not all. It features a mix of leather and fabric seats, an image of a set of keys printed inside the glove compartment, a hand-painted bee on the roof. The traditional clock has been replaced with a Paul Smith fascia. However, the Defender did keep the majority of the traditional elements. The fourth vehicle in this video is a very important vehicle, as it had the job of protecting one of the most important people in the world, the Pope. Introducing the Land Rover Popemobile. Now, there have been lots of Popemobiles, but each one is completely custom. From our research, there have been 4 different Land Rover Popemobiles, a Series 2A, a Santana 109 Series 3, a Defender 110, and a Range Rover. Now, the Range Rover is the interesting one, because in 1981, after an assassination attempt on the Pope, British Leyland designed 2 vehicles that were fitted with bulletproof glass, while still retaining the ability to see the Pope stood up in the back. One of these was the Range Rover. Ever since this Range Rover, all Popemobiles have been designed in this manner. The Range Rover Popemobile was used by John Paul II in England and Scotland. However, it also went to the Caribbean for 2 papal excursions, and now lives in a museum in Texas. The penultimate vehicle on this list is the Chitty Bang Bang car. Not the original one, which was apparently a pre-war Mercedes with a Maybach aircraft engine, but instead a lovingly created replica by Nick Pointing for his wife, who loved the films. Nick bought a 1973 Series 3 Land Rover for £100 and stripped it down to the 2.3 litre engine and chassis, before spending 4 years recreating the Chitty Bang Bang car from a Corgi toy replica. It features wood from a boatyard, a brass fuel tank, a window from an MG, and lamps from Marks and Spencer's. Nick and his wife then drove the car 12,000 miles to Australia via India to raise money for the Earl Mountbatten Hospice, Multiple Sclerosis Society, and the World Wildlife Fund. The final car on today's list is related to the Paul Smith car from earlier. In 2015, Land Rover spent a year celebrating the Defender as they got ready to retire it, hence the Paul Smith collaboration. But as production was coming to a halt, there was one final landmark they had to celebrate: the 2 millionth Defender coming off the line. And this car had to be special. It has a handful of one-off features, including logos with 2 million on the back, as well as stitched into the headrests, an aluminium plaque signed by those who built the car, and an S90 HUE number plate that echoes the famous HUE 166 plate found on the first pre-production Land Rover. There's also engraved on the exterior and on the seats a map of Red Wharf Bay, where the design for the first Land Rover was drawn in the sand by then engineering director of Rover, Maurice Wilkes. The car is based on the most top-spec version, the autobiography model, with leather seats and interior trim. This car was auctioned off for charity and sold for £400,000, making it one of the most expensive Land Rovers ever sold. And there you have 6 more rare and unique Land Rovers. What was your favourite on this list? Have we missed any? Let us know in the comments, and of course, don't forget to subscribe.